All right.
I'm the producer, you're the director. And the Oscar goes to... Do you have a speech ready?
Yes.
Oh.
I'd like to thank my family. Should I list them all one by one, or do you think they know who they are?
No. You want to list them.
List. Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to forget everyone.
Yeah.
And you're a producer and director and God.
Oh, right. I'd like to thank my children.
So what I was
My parents for...
what I was thinking was
I like this.
we need multiple oscillators, like a multi-wave oscillator, with not just two but many, all going simultaneously
Listen.
at different frequencies. Yeah. What's that? 220?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a nice.
I think the most important part of them is designing, like, designing them into a piece. The secret to the universe, to the ultimate.
So here's the thought that I had. Okay, you're describing sound and light as two separate, totally separate things.
No.
Okay. No. Let me continue. When John explains what sound is and what light is, right? He shows frequencies. Sound is a lower frequency.
But that's 3D.
That's okay.
No.
Right,
That's
because
okay.
you're viewing them as separate when they're not.
That's okay. Just so we have a common premise here, right? So sound is a lower frequency and light is a higher frequency, right?
Yeah.
And that is, in science, that is the only difference,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But we're going to step outside of that.
That's okay. That's okay. In order to step outside of anything, I need to know where I'm
Standing?
at.
Outside of yeah.
So, how about sound is the male aspect?
It's wrong.
And light is the female aspect. If they're to work together, because
But why are you switching it when?
Because this is what's coming to my mind.
But the sound is the female aspect, the divine, which is the piece that's missing from everything and all things, is the divine feminine, and it is about the divine feminine rising into her place.
Not a problem with that. Not a problem with
Hold
that.
on, and this is the other piece to that. Even with the yin and yang in ancient spiritual philosophy, it is the female that is the dark. Okay, and because this is the dark energy. She's not dark. She's the song that creates the dance of like creation. It's the particles that dance to her music.
So if we have sound and light, can we apply feminine and masculine to those?
Right, the feminine is the sound and the masculine is the light. And to explain that they are one and the same, that they are not separate.
Okay, so the opposite of what I just said.
Yeah. That's why I just said it's the female that is the dark, even in the yin and yang, and to explain, the why, and the fact that they're not separate.
I didn't. This is not about the separation. This is about just a basis so we speak the same language.
Yeah. How they're not, though, is that sound is what brought the particle to life, right? The like accumulation, that wave coming crashing into a single point. That friction
feels like massive masculine energy.
And why? Why is that?
The way you described it, it was not subtle.
No, it's not subtle. So it's almost like she cries out to him, right?
Well, she gave birth to God the Mother.
Right.
Gave birth to God the Father.
Right. Who
is our Father, but is her. So it's God the Grandmother. Is the real goddess,
right.
God the grandmother.
Right. See, we're looking at like the masculine and feminine of like the sexes, like the man is big and strong, but the whole like is to remove that, okay, the physical aspects of these things. We're like a manifested version of
well, yeah, you know what? I guess the female is associated with the moon, and
She's also the life giver.
and the male is associated with the sun.
Right, and
So that kind of goes with what you were saying.
right, and the female is the life giver. Life is.
So okay, so now in 3D science now, I'm thinking about these vibrations, right? Would you say that the light is really a harmony of the sound?
The sound brings the vibration.
Scientifically, right? As you go up to harmonics and harmonics, right?
I don't, it doesn't make sense scientifically, and we really have to leave 3D behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
To enter into the quantum.
It doesn't give us any insights. I think
A lot of the stuff that you're talking about here is harmonics, right?
it's
sort of
esoteric. It's matriarchal. Matrix is the mother. Matrix is the mother.
And to explain it, like, because it is to like bring it down into quantum, right? What exactly is happening within the DNA, with the particles? What is it that's happening? I mean, this is the big question, all right? Is what is entanglement, all right? What's the phantom effect? What is happening that these particles are becoming waves, right? Creating this wave pattern. So what I'm proposing here is the missing link is sound, because you need sound to create vibration. So when there is an observer of the particles, that the observer is emanating sound, which causes the particles to basically ride the waves. That's what creates the wave pattern. It's not the particle itself, it's the sound creating that vibration. The particles ride the waves.
The wave of
sound.
intention.
Right, which is sound.
And sound, intention is sound.
Right.
And sound is intention.
Yes. And
the word in the beginning was the word, which is intention.
right. And this is what sets everything
Is this
into
physical sound, or is this virtual sound?
It's got to be.
It's quantum. We're taking it down like the quantum. Like why is everything
I
in
don't know
perpetual motion?
why the word sound is coming through, because there might be a less confusing word.
Well, it's to bring that simplistic meaning, like that sound creates vibration. Okay? Like we view it as a physical thing, it's because that's the only way we ever knew it. So if I don't know an alternative word, it is the sound that creates the vibrations or frequencies. It is what causes the particles to dance and to vibrate at these specific frequencies and vibrations. So it is what gravity is. It is what the phantom effect. You have the particles in a vacuum. They only sit, they do nothing. You take a piece of DNA, put that in the vacuum, and suddenly the particles start to dance into formation. They start, and then you remove that strand of DNA and they hold their form. Why? Okay, because the DNA is emitting sound that causes them to vibrate into specific order. That's the divine order of things.
So are you saying that everything emits sound?
Yes.
Everything living emits sound.
Yes.
And that's the way that it communicates
and creates
and connects.
Yes. That was the glue
and
that
affects,
holds
and affects.
everything. That is what gravity is. On the smallest level, in the quantum world, within atoms and all particles, it is sound that is the gravitational force, all the way through the cosmos.
But when you say sound, you don't necessarily mean
the sound that you can hear.
It is sound that you can hear.
It is not the sound that you can hear.
It is not sound.
Right. The same as we look at light. There's only this aspect. Right. Well, it's the same with sound. Right? There's still a spectrum. There's a spectrum of light that we have the ability to see. There's a spectrum of sound. And these two are the masculine and feminine aspects of all of creation. You can't have one without the other.
So you're saying sound is feminine?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it is that missing piece within all science. What is this mystery, of entanglement? It is the sound that connects the particles. Okay, what is that like? It's what everything dances to. That's why it's in perpetual motion. You can't, if you stop the song, you stop all creation. And these, like the light particles were born from sound. It's even stated, like he spoke, you know, everything into existence with a thunderous clap. You know, everything is, you know, you tell a mountain to move. I can't remember exactly how, but it's through the voice. Everything is sound, even our DNA. The secret within our DNA is the sound. Our volume is turned down.
Okay.
So, it's all sound, baby. That is dark matter. And if you took it to the beginning, where all the sound is like these can crash into a single point, and all that pressure, that causing that friction, is what created that like that friction, that spark of that first particle into being, and then the crashing force of that sound coming into that single point, pouring into that single point, ultimately created the explosion. And so all these particles fly out.
So
they're riding the waves of the sound.
So that sound was the feminine energy.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we're
not as a female as I am.
That's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
But I'll finish this piece because as these particles, this explosion, what they're doing is they're riding the waves of the sound. And what if you look and watch waves, the wave patterns and how they do, they intercede. So at each intersection of sound and particle, there's these mini explosions, right? Of like the sound and the particles coming together, bringing forth life form, like form in the planets and the sun and the moon. It was this intersection of these waves flowing out. So what we have is not space, time, but sound, light. And it's these intersections of sound and light that bring all into existence. And this is why we're in a forward and in perpetual motion. And why even to bring something down to the 0 point, it still is jiggling. Because it is vibrating to the music of the universe.
That's right. Batteries are not reliable. And then
that's my theory. Even the pyramids. All right, we're going to bring the pyramids. It's the same thing. How were they created? Through sound. Specific vibrations and frequencies that lifted and put each piece. Because we all know this is that we are capable, right? I mean, people who understand know that you can lift objects. So how do we move these huge objects that we're seeing all these different designs?
I told you about this thing about this Swedish doctor. So this is
that
on the internet.
Practicing, right? So it all comes into play like
there's
that
another thing. It's called the
understanding.
Coral Castle.
Mm-hmm.
One man built a castle by himself, and
That would make
and
sense.
I think there's if you Google it, we can do it later.
Mm-hmm.
And he's used sound in one way or another.
Yeah, we're so used to sound like coming from us, or it's physically created. We don't think that we maybe have it backwards, that it's sound that brought into creation the form of all things, vibrating these particles. And even we speak.
I've heard more stuff confirming the words that you're saying than anything else.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. The reason why I'm locking horns with you every now and again is not because of the premise of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I'm trying to quantify it in some science.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, which
But-
would be quantum.
which may or may not be necessary.
That mystery quantum energy. What?
Because I'm a sound guy,
Mhm.
I'm a frequency guy, I understand those really well.
And
All
that
musicians
sound
do.
creates frequency, right?
Sound is frequency. It doesn't create frequency, it is frequency.
All right, sound creates vibration.
Sound is vibration.
What causes the vibration of the particles?
Sound vibrates particles.
Right.
Okay. Sound is a physical vibration. It vibrates anything in its field.
Right, but it's the sound that causes the vibration to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Specific sound would create different
sound,
vibration and frequency.
And sound is caused by vibration. If I pluck a string, the string vibrates.
Yeah.
That causes sound.
Yeah, but that's 3D See here, things may be total reverse in 5D.
Well, I think
you know.
that's the problem is we have had it backwards. We're looking at things backwards,
Yeah.
right? We're trying to
Some
find
3D,
everything out.
I'm a 3D. I'm a simple guy.
No, you're a 5D expert after all the workshops you've done.
I'm coming here with an oscillator, right? You're an oscillator man yourself, right? So to me, it's just the concept of plucking the string. Having said this, God created the world with sound, using the word. So that's conceptual.
See, in 3D we think of cause-effect. The strings are plucked, cause the sound. But there's no cause-effect up in 5D.
Right,
so
and even that, isn't it just harnessing the sound, bringing the sound to life?
the sound is already there.
Right,
really
and we
flowing,
these
yeah.
right
We're
actually
tapping
harness
into it, yeah.
and-
Like a river of sound.
yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
harnessing, the sound
Harnessing, yeah.
and bringing it to that
Well,
makes sense.
that form.
The 5D world is really the world of potential, right?
Yeah, possible probability.
So,
yeah, yeah.
so the Big Bang that we're talking about here, right, is the meeting of the dimensions, right? The meeting or the manifestation of 5D potential in 3D, right?
Yeah.
So, this is, to me, in a simplistic way.